This morning I'm making friands, and these are my lemon and raspberry friands. And if you haven't tried making friands before, we should give it a go because it's so simple to do. They're basically like little light moist tea cakes, and they're so delicious, especially for morning or afternoon tea. So I've got a very simple recipe for you to follow. To start with, we need 3 cups of icing sugar, which I've just sifted. We're going to put that into our mixer. 2 cups of hazelnut meal. You could use almond meal, which is actually very traditional with friands, but I love the flavour of hazelnut meal. So what you do, I've just got whole peeled hazelnuts here that I've toasted, and I've just popped them in the food processor just so you get that real fine, almost powder-like consistency. So 2 cups of that, and in they go. 2 cups of plain flour, so again, very easy measurements to remember, and that goes straight into our mixer. 1 and 2. And we're going to start combining all these dry ingredients to start with while I crack a few eggs. When I say a few, it's actually 10 egg whites. So it's a lot of egg, but there's no rising agent in here. The egg whites are going to be doing all the work here to rise these beautiful little cakes. So let's get that started, and I'll crack the remaining eggs. Okay, so obviously you'll have 10 egg yolks left over, so don't throw them out. Make an ice cream with it or a custard. Even a sauce like a hollandaise sauce would be fantastic. So we'll just add these egg whites to the dry ingredients. So that's coming along very nicely. So the last of the wet ingredients, 360 grams of butter. I've just melted it, and again, we're going to slowly pour that in. All right, so that's the rest of the butter, and that is looking just about right. I'm going to turn that off now. Look at that, perfect mixture. And we'll start adding in the flavouring. So if you want to keep it basic, you can just keep the hazelnut meal in there, and you could put a topping on it, just dust it with a little bit of icing sugar once it's cooked. But for me, my favourite combination is a little bit of lemon zest. So I've got 2 lemons here, and I've just washed them really well, and we're just going to zest that. You know, you want a good hit of lemon zest in here. Don't be stingy with this. You want to taste that. And hazelnuts, lemon, and I'm going to be adding raspberries go so well together. So we'll just scoop up all of that from the board and into that cake mix. Other flavourings that I love with this is some cinnamon. So a good pinch of that straight in, and 1 cup of frozen raspberries. By keeping them frozen while we're adding them to the batter like this, will ensure they'll hold their shape once the cake is cooked. Okay, let's get a spatula and just gently fold them. You can see, look at that batter. It's just come together perfectly. Let's just stir that through, and we're ready to fill our tin. So another thing that makes friands is of course the shape of them, and I've got a perfect tin here. This is a classic friand tin, and I love the tins that you can get these days because they're non-stick. So I'm not going to butter it, I'm not going to spray it. All we have to do is simply fill them up. So when you're filling up a friand tin, we've got all those egg whites in here, so you don't want to fill it all the way at the top. Let's fill it around, 2/3 full. Okay, last one, in it goes. And I'm going to bake them in the oven for about 20 minutes at 170 degrees. You'll know they're ready when they start puffing up and they're golden brown. So our beautiful friands are cooked now. I've just allowed them to cool slightly. That's also going to make it really easy for them to come out, as you can see there. And look at this, I love this. You've got the little star pattern down the bottom. So I just like to present them on a board like this. Look how easy they're coming out. And what I love about these, they're all stained with that raspberry. So as soon as you take a bite into them, you've got that sweetness. It's almost like raspberry jam at this stage. So let's put another one on just here. and, of course, a good dusting of icing sugar. So if you want to make friands at home, make sure you get the right tin and yours will look just as beautiful as my ones.